The Premier League Gameweek 38 matches are finally here. It's the final week of the Premier League. Obviously, Liverpool have been crowned as the champions, but we still have the Champions League spots to play for. Let's get straight into the video. Don't forget to drop a like if you like to do that. But we have Bournemouth versus Leicester. First of all, this game is going to be pretty one-sided in my opinion. So let's get started with Bournemouth. Now, they have been doing not too bad this season. Form-wise, they have not been the best recently. Last game they played Man City and they lost 3-1. It's crazy because they were pushing for Europe at one point and now they're all the way down to, I don't even know, they're like 11th maybe. They had a massive drop-off in form, which sucks, and Huijsen is moving to Real Madrid. It is confirmed Kirkic as well is going to be moving most likely to Liverpool. Now on to Leicester. They have not been good this season. It's been very disappointing for them. Last game they played Ipswich and they won 2-0, and that was Vardy's last home game for Leicester and he managed to score as well. It does still mean that they are going down as well. Even though they got bumped up to 18th place, they're still going down, and we could be seeing Ruben van Nistelrooy getting sacked at the end of the season. Who knows? Now my prediction is going to be a 2-0 win for Bournemouth. Moving on to Fulham versus Man City. This game, it's a pretty big one for Man City because they need to get this win to secure Champions League football. So let's get started with Fulham. They've been not too bad this season. Form-wise, it's been a little bit rough for them, to be fair. Even though last game they played Brentford and they won 3-2. Fulham have been, I think, one of the most underrated teams this season. Personally, that's what I think. Currently, they are set in 10th place in the Premier League, and Jimenez has really found his form. He's kind of turned around his career at Fulham. We love to see that. And on to Man City. They have been doing quite alright this season. Form-wise, they've been doing quite well. Last game they played Bournemouth and they won 3-1. Now Marmoush has been an incredible signing for City. I believe no other Man City player has scored more than Marmoush since January. He has now scored 7 goals since January. He scored a banger 30 to 40 yards out against Bournemouth, and that might have been the goal of the season as well. It was KDB's last game at home and they have confirmed he will get a statue as well, because obviously he's been one of the greatest midfielders the Premier League has ever seen. And this game is super important for Man City because they need the win to get Champions League football. So my prediction is going to be a 3-1 win for Man City. Moving on to Wolves versus Brentford. This game, it's going to be great. So let's get started with Wolves. They've been pretty decent this season. Form-wise, they have not been the best. Like last game, they played Crystal Palace and they lost 4-2. I mean, Crystal Palace are just coming off a win in the FA Cup against City. Now Wolves have been playing some very clean football. Cunha, though, he looks like he may be close to joining Manchester United, and Wolves actually sit in 14th place, which isn't too bad for them. They were like near the relegation zone a few months ago, so 14th isn't too bad. Now onto Brentford. They have been doing fairly alright this season. They've actually surprised me because currently they're in 9th place, which is pretty solid. Their form has been pretty decent as well. They did lose to Fulham 3-2 in their last game, unfortunately. But you know what's crazy? Wissa and Mbeumo both have 19 goals each this season alone. Mbeumo is a player who has been linked with a move away to Arsenal or Spurs. Just many clubs are looking at him, and in that Fulham game, both Mbeumo and Wissa, of course, they both scored. Now, one of the most underrated teams, I think, this season, Brentford, have to be one of the most underrated teams. Now, my prediction is going to be a 2-1 win for Brentford. Moving on to Nottingham Forest versus Chelsea. This game, it's going to be an absolute battle. So, both sides need this win to potentially get Champions League football. So let's get started with Nottingham Forest. They've been doing pretty decent this season. Form-wise, it's not been the best, if we're being honest. Last game, they did get a 2-1 win against West Ham. Well, thanks to Milinkovic, he has been a solid signing. Now, Forest, they massively need to win this game to get Champions League football. The pressure is fully on for them, and Gibbs White and Chris Wood, they have been phenomenal. Two of the most key players in this Forest team in terms of attacking. Now on to Chelsea, they've been doing pretty decent this season. Form wise, it's been alright. Currently they are set in 5th place in the Premier League, which means they need to win this game to get Champions League football, because I'm pretty sure Aston Villa, they have Aston Villa around them, they have Newcastle around them, they have Nottingham Forest pushing up over there, so they need to win this game. Now last game they played Manchester United and they managed to win 1-0. Cucurella with a very solid header to secure the win, and Palmer, he's been picking up his form even though he has had a slow start to 2025. Now my prediction is going to be a 2-1 win for Nottingham Forest. Now moving on to Manchester United versus Aston Villa. This game is huge for Aston Villa, so let's get started with Manchester United. Form wise, it's been not too good for them, if we're being honest. They played Chelsea and they lost 1-0. Manchester United, they are currently set in 16th place, and I do think they have stopped caring about the Prem, mainly due to them having a Europa League final against Tottenham, which is tomorrow. When I'm recording this, it's tomorrow. Now I gotta say, Bruno has been super important for Manchester United this season. He has been kind of carrying them in terms of goals and assists. He has the most chances created, I believe, in the league as well. Now on to Aston Villa. They have been pretty decent this season. Form wise, Villa have been doing well. Currently they're in 6th place at the moment, so this one is very much needed to secure Champions League football again for them. Now last game they played Tottenham and they won 2-0. Villa fully dominated Tottenham, who were playing a weaker team, obviously, as they have the Europa League final, and we have heard rumors that Emi Martinez could be leaving. I wonder if he does leave, and I wonder where he goes if he decides to leave. Now Morgan Rogers has been a very, very good player for them. Super important, and he's had his breakout season this season. Now my prediction is going to be a 3-1 win for Aston Villa. Moving on to Southampton versus Arsenal. Now this game's kind of pointless, for being honest. Southampton, let's get started with them. They have not been doing good this season. I mean, it's confirmed that they are relegated. 20th place is horrible for them, and they are probably one of the worst teams we have seen ever in this Premier League. I mean, 12 points from them is crazy. Only 2 wins as well, 84 goals conceded. What is going on here? If I'm being honest, fully deserved that they got relegated, because they have been awful. How do you get 2 wins only? Obviously it's tough, but you gotta switch things up once in a while. But yeah, down to the championship they go, and if I'm being honest, expect them to come back up in 2 seasons time and be back in the Premier League. Now moving on to Arsenal. Arsenal have been pretty decent this season, if we're being honest. I mean, once again, we have secured 2nd place. It's a bit of a rough one, if we're being honest, but at least we secured Champions League football again. Our last game we played was against Newcastle. We played, I think, pretty decent, even though Newcastle had so many chances and they could not put them away. Arsenal won that game 1-0. Declan Rice with a incredible strike outside the box. This guy has been so clutch for us. Probably one of our best players this season. Odegaard, I mean, what can I say? He's been kind of lacking this season, if we're being honest. I don't know if he has a little injury in his left foot or something, but the season's almost done, which is good. Players can recover now, but we need a massive summer transfer window here. We need a striker coming in, a left wing, and potentially a center mid as well. So my prediction for this game is going to be a 2-0 win for Arsenal. Moving on to Newcastle versus Everton. Now this game's going to be pretty decent. If I'm being honest, Everton could potentially pull something off in this game. Now Newcastle obviously are chasing Champions League football as well. Currently they're in 4th place. I mean, they're tied with Chelsea, Aston Villa with 66 points in the table as well. You got 3 places right there, all 3 having 66. Then we have 7th place in Nottingham Forest having 65 points. So it's very, very tight. I think this is a must win for Newcastle right here. I believe they will be without Isak as well in this match, as he did not play against Arsenal due to him having an injury as well. But Newcastle are a very, very good side. They have Tonali and their Bruno Guimaraes, and also Joel Linton. That midfield is very, very strong. They have Gordon, who could attack on the counter-attack very, very well with just that striker position. I think they're gonna miss the goals of Isak in this game, but they should be able to come away with the win here. But Everton, on the other side, they have been pretty decent this season. They are sitting in 13th place at the moment, which is, I would say, not too bad for Everton. I believe earlier into the season they were around 16th or 15th, so they've kind of bumped up in terms of places in the Premier League. Their last game they played Southampton. What can I say? That's basically a free win for Southampton, but before that they played Fulham, who obviously I said are pretty underrated. They won that game 3-1. I mean, David Moyes, ever since he's came into this role at Everton as the head coach, he's done very, very well. They've been defensively very strong, and offensively they have been a lot better. And Ndiaye getting the goals as well, he's been very, very good. He's on form as well in his recent matches. So my prediction for this game is going to be a 2-1 win for Newcastle. Now moving on to Liverpool versus Crystal Palace. Now this game could be pretty good, but it doesn't really mean much, for being honest, because Liverpool are obviously champions now. So let's get started with Liverpool. As I mentioned already, they are the champions. Only 4 losses in this campaign as well. They have been phenomenal. We gotta give them credit, playing some incredible football. Salah, he's just been scoring goals for fun, but he's 1 goal contribution away from matching Alan Shearer and Andy Cole's record. So can he do it in this match? We will figure out. He's had an incredible season. I think Liverpool need to look for a striker. Potentially they might be going for Isak or something, but I don't know if that's likely or not. But Van Dijk has been so key in this team. Trent is obviously leaving to Real Madrid, and he hasn't exactly gotten the best send-off in his home game. They didn't have a guard of honor like they did for KDB for Man City, so Liverpool fans are not happy about him leaving on a free transfer. But Liverpool have now become champions, and in the last game they actually lost 3-2 against Brighton. Brighton, I think, were the better team at the end of the day. Now let's speak about Crystal Palace. This team has had a massive rise in form. In terms of recent form, it's been incredible. They have been doing very well. They have just come off a FA Cup win against Manchester City as well. They won that game 1-0. That's the first time, I believe, ever they've won a major trophy, so they just made history as well. Mateta has been incredibly key in that team as well. In that game against Man City, he was so good in terms of hold up and just linking up the attackers all around him. Eze has stepped up. He scored the goal in that final to win them the game. He has stepped up in the recent matches, getting goals and assists as well. He could potentially move away from Crystal Palace as well. But Oliver Glasner, every time he's been at a club, he's won something. At Frankfurt, he's won the Europa League. At Crystal Palace, he's won the FA Cup, and he's got them into the Europa League as well. Incredible stuff from him. But my prediction for this game, I could see Crystal Palace winning this game 3-2 and Liverpool will lose once again. Now moving on to Ipswich versus West Ham now. Once again, it's a pretty pointless game, for being honest, but let's get started with Ipswich. They have not been doing too well this season. They are confirmed relegated, currently in 19th place, and they can't get out of that because 17th place is Tottenham with 38 points, and in 19th place is obviously Ipswich who have 22 points. So yeah, they're not getting out of that. Like I thought earlier into the season, they were playing some very good football. Just as I say almost every single predictions video, they can't get the results they need to stay up, and it's unfortunate they are going down. But a few of their players will probably leave as well. Like Liam Delap, he's being looked at by Manchester United, possibly Chelsea as well. So that's probably their key striker leaving the club as well, and they will have to make their way up from the championship again, and maybe we will see them in 2 seasons time. Onto West Ham. West Ham once again have not been too good this season as well. It's been, I think, one of their worst seasons, for being honest, sitting in 15th place at the moment. Their form, it's not been too good. They played Nottingham Forest in their last game and they lost 2-1, and honestly I haven't seen much of Kudus in the recent matches. I don't know what's happened to him. He's probably had a massive dip in form, which kind of hindered his confidence, but Bowen has been stepping up with goals once again. It's just not enough from them. Bowen can't carry the team alone. You got players like Paqueta who could score goals. I don't know what's happened to that guy. I haven't seen him play well for quite a while, but they do need a striker to score goals. I believe Fulkrug was playing in that game. He came in late into the game, I believe, but just nothing, no goals apart from Bowen, which is unfortunate. They do play some alright football, but once again, you need to stay defensively solid and just get the win. But obviously, Nottingham Forest are a tough team to play as they're challenging for the Champions League spot as well. So my prediction is gonna be a 2-1 win for West Ham. And the last and final game is Tottenham versus Brighton. Now this game for Tottenham, I think it's pretty pointless as well for Brighton. This game, I think it'll be a pretty good, entertaining watch as well, because Tottenham, let's get started with them. They have had a awful season in the Premier League. I think probably one of their worst finishes I've seen in my lifetime. 17th place right now they're sitting. That is horrific, for being honest. You could blame it on injuries, but they now have a full squad. In their last match they played Aston Villa and they lost 2-0, and I believe they got fully dominated. Unbelievable. Only had 1 shot on target. That is outrageous. And you have a fully fit team and you can't compete with Aston Villa. This Europa League final is literally Angie's only chance at keeping the Tottenham job. That's why I think personally, if they lose it, I think he might get sacked. We'll wait and see what happens in that Europa League final. And moving on to Brighton. Brighton have been phenomenal this season, playing some very nice, unique football, very clean football as well. Unfortunately, they can't really push for the European spot unless Chelsea win the Conference League, which could happen. That 8th spot, I believe, would open up for Brighton and they would make their way into Europe, which would be massive for them, especially with that win. They got 3-2 win against Liverpool. That's huge, especially if they want to get into Europe and if Chelsea win the Conference League. Now, I saw a stat where this is the first time ever in Brighton's history where 3 players have scored 10 plus goals. I believe it's Welbeck, Mitoma, and João Pedro as well. We could be seeing João Pedro leave the club as well, maybe to Liverpool. I haven't seen any links about him moving, potentially because he might be injured. I mean, Brighton have been a fantastic team this season. 8th finish in the Premier League is a Very good finish for Brighton. That's one of their most highest finishes, I think, in recent times. A very good team, if we're being honest. The coach has done a fantastic job with this Brighton team. Now, my prediction is going to be a 3-1 win for Brighton in this match. So thank you guys for watching. Hopefully you did enjoy the video. Don't forget to drop a like. Comment down below your predictions for these games. Don't forget to subscribe as well. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.